Super Talk 99.7 WTN. What's up, friends? It's the final hour of the week. It's a free-for-all First Amendment Freestyle Friday. Final hour is kind of crazy. It is anything goes, and anybody, any all-comers, give us a call at 615-737-9986, 615-737-9986. If there's any subject matter that we've not covered over the course of the week that you want to cover today, let's do it. You've got an hour to get it out, or less than that now, 52 minutes to be precise. Gentlemen, I am pleased to announce it doesn't please me to announce that Ken Weaver got Dairy Queened. But he did.
That's all right, as long as it's coming with ice cream.
Hey, Ken.
Yes, sir.
Did you understand why I was playing the sad music?
I do not.
Could you hear the sad music?
Yeah, I could. But my news training just says just keep on going.
That's a brilliant man. Brilliant man. Pro. Absolute pro.
That is the truth.
Absolute pro.
How professional Ken is.
No, Ken is insane. No, Ken, y'all don't even know.
Because you didn't miss a beat. I
Some
was
of the
playing all
garbage.
kinds of noise and
Womp, 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 womp.
I just kept.
He just kept going.
plowed right through it and kept going with the story.
But let me tell you, when Ken's doing the news, there are occasions when Ken Weaver's been doing the news. For example, on the Chad Benson show, and Matt Murphy gets here, and Matt Murphy really wants to say something to Ken Weaver. I really want to talk to Ken about something. And I just plow right through that on-air sign, and I just go right into News Closet B, and I'm like, hey, Ken, here's John B. I saw something. And Ken Weaver's, he's just doing the news in there, man. He just doesn't miss a beat. Did you ever experience hijinks and pranks back in the day, Ken, when we could get away with that in radio?
No, I don't recall anything like that.
I had my first job in radio was at WTWA, WTHO. It was a combo AM/FM. WTHO was a 3,000-watt country music FM station. Your better country FM. And WTWA was 1240 on your AM dial, the heart of Thompson. Your favorite easy listening hits from the 40s to the 80s. Anyway, WTWA would do top and bottom of the hour news. They would do mutual news typically at the top of the hour and then local news at the bottom of the hour. And I'm 15 to 16, and I'm wet behind the ears, and I don't know what's going on. And these full-time guys that are working, and there were, back in the day for being a small radio station, there were a lot of people working there. And Steve Ferguson, God rest his soul, Steve has passed on now. Steve was a huge fella, and he was the morning guy on the country music station, but he would come in on Saturdays, and sometimes he would stop by in the evenings to pick stuff up when I was there. And I remember I'd only been there about a month, and I'd met Steve on a couple of occasions, and, he's a fun guy. He's a, just friendly guy. And he's talking to me, and I was like, Steve, I'm sorry to tell you, I've got to prepare the news. Because we had a news director that would put the news out for us, right? 2 or 3 news stories with an actuality or two, and then we would deliver the news. And I was like, Steve, I'm very sorry, but I've got to focus on this news. I've got to do this newscast.
Yes,
so
sir.
I've got to ask you to leave.
Yes, sir. Get out.
And he was like, well, that's fine. I understand that. You've got a job to do. But yeah, I'll come back when you're done.
Yeah.
And I said, okay. And so I start my newscast, and I'm in the middle of a news story, and I hear a bump on the glass into the hallway. And so at radio stations, I guess I should describe it, the view that I have is a huge window into Jackson's control room, and then another window back to Ken. And so it's a window very similar to the one between Jackson and I out into the hallway area where people are coming and going. And I'm reading the news, and I hear, and I look up, and Steve has dropped his pants, and he has pressed like 2 large canned hams, his behind up against the glass. And I lost it. Did not know that type of thing happened. So about a week later, Steve is back. You know, we're doing same thing, same deal next Saturday, right? And I'm like, man, you're not getting me anymore. You just get out here, you go on, and I shut the door and put a chair against the door to the studio,
So nobody can get in.
so nobody can get in. Well, there's a back entrance to the studio through the transmitter room. And so I'm sitting at Ken. We still smoked in the radio station back then.
Oh, those were great days.
Those were good days. And I'm standing, you know, and I'm trying to be, 16 years old. I'm reading the news.
You're doing the news.
And as I'm doing my newscast, I hear something behind me, and Steve has walked up behind me and has lit a Zippo lighter and lights my news on fire.
Now that's a new one.
And left.
Wow.
And so I paused. I felt good about how I reacted to it. I paused. I turned off the mic. I threw the news on the floor. I stomped it out. I picked it back up, and I finished my newscast.
That's the way to go, Brother Murphy.
And and Steve, eventually, I'm like, would you please stop messing with me? He goes, son, there's only one way that you're going to get good at this business. Work through adversity. I'm like, well, thank you, Steve.
Well, so were those just the greatest hits, or were there?
Oh, there was plenty more. Oh, there's plenty more.
I thought about putting petroleum jelly on Ken's keyboard, or peanut butter or something.
Why
would
you do that?
I don't know. It'd just be funny.
That would shut down the news right there, man. I mean, you do that to a keyboard and it's done.
I thought I would just break Ken's keyboard.
Yeah, I thought I would just walk back there with a hammer and start smashing his computer system while he's doing the news. I thought that'd be real funny, too.
What'd you think about that?
By the way, voting is over, and I have won for the day. Although, Jackson, it was a fair fight based on your little shenanigans, your little trickery, trying to get people to vote for you in an effort to get Ken Weaver the tie.
Well, he was appealing to the Vols Nation, and we're in the heart of it. Well, not the heart of it.
Well,
Knoxville's the heart of it.
But still, we're in smack dab in the middle of it.
Bunch of Vols fans.
It was a fair fight, but it looks as if Matt Murphy has taken the gold. Thank you for all of you for your participation. And thank you. I can't tell you enough how appreciative I am of all of the votes that we received this week.
You know what? I almost didn't go with that story. I've got a story saved for next week. You boys are not going to be able to beat.
Let me tell you something. It is
it's getting difficult to find these stories.
Mm.
People just aren't getting naked like they used to.
Well, they are, but we've got 3. Well, they are, but
you people need to get on it.
It's happening, but we're mining from the same places.
Everybody run in the street naked and get arrested. I need an nincompoop next week.
Well, you're not going to get to go first. I will get to go first. So, yeah, y'all go ahead and get out there and get naked.
I mean, I'm actually typing in things like, show me news stories about naked people who are drunk back-talking police.
Our Google search history.
I was about to say, somewhere at IT, they're going, what in the hell?
Who is this Weaver fella?
Why does this guy keep looking up indecent exposure arrests?
Allison, can we have a conference call with you about this Kenneth Weaver fella? It was something about anyway. So there you go. There's Nincompoops in the news. Brent says Jackson is growing on me. Well, that makes one of us, Brent.
Seriously.
Tell about that lady that called in to sell stuff and you messed with her. Actually,
Wait, what?
We did.
I got to look at this one story a listener sent me. I may save it for next week, too. But I got to find out if it's real.
Yeah. See, that's the trouble, is that some of these are fake stories and people are just. So, Jackson, back in the day, we did a segment on Saturday mornings. Actually, I think they did it every day, but I only did it on Saturday mornings. And it was called the Wheeler Dealer Show. It was formerly known as the Swap Shop. A lot of local radio stations used to do this back in the day, where people would submit. It was basically the classified ads on the radio, Jackson, where you could buy, sell, or trade items on the radio. And so I would have a list as the announcer. They'd play an open. It's time for the Wheeler Dealer Show on WTWA, the Heart of Thompson. And you could call in to the Wheeler Dealer Show, and you could talk about what you had to sell. And if no one would call, so if people called, I would take the telephone calls. Hello, you're on the Wheeler Dealer Show. What do you got? And they would say, well, I'm selling firewood today, and if you'd like to buy some firewood for the weekend, give me a call, blah, blah, blah. Or I'm looking to buy
this was before electricity?
Bush hog and blah, blah. I mean, this is back in the day, buddy. This is real radio. You need to know this. We did this between the obituaries, and I'm not kidding about doing the obituaries. We used to read the obituaries on the air.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
And that was a big moneymaker, too.
It was indeed.
The funeral homes, they loved it.
Whew.
So one day, I get calls from this woman every single day. And she would say the same thing every time. This was when I was 16 years old, and I still can tell you what she said. She would call and she would say, okay, I got a few things to sell. I've got pantsuits. I've got coat suits of various sizes. I have Tams made by hand, and I have several bicycles, including the 10-speed. And if anybody would want any of this, you can call 465-3470. Okay, bye-bye. Now, that's the telephone number, 465-3470. And she would say the same thing every day.
I loved it.
So I'm 16, and you just let her go, and she would hang up. 465-3470. Okay, bye-bye.
Yep.
And so one day, I just wanted to engage. I wanted to interact with her, right? Because I thought she was funny. And so she's like, I got pantsuits. I've got coat suits of various sizes for sale. I've got Tams made by hand, and I have several bicycles. One of them is a 10-speed. And I said, excuse me, ma'am. What kind of 10-speed bicycle is that? And there's this long pause, and she said, if anybody wants any of this, call and I said, 465-3470. And she said, okay, bye-bye. She was pissed. I had messed up her flow.
Oh, man.
I messed up her rhythm, man. Oh, I used to love those days. I also had a woman call me every Saturday and ask me what the temperature was going to be at her house at 3:45.
Did you tell her to go out with a thermometer and get back to you?
I'm like, come on, man. I would just, so I tried to explain to her that I had no way of knowing.
Did you just make it up?
I started making it up. Because we had, we would deliver the forecast, and I would know that highs would be in the lower 70s, and it's going to be 74, ma'am. And you know what she would say? Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Goodbye. She's very, very pleased. Did not want me to tell. I was like, ma'am, ma'am, while I would love to tell you that, I can't possibly predict because I don't know where you live. Would you please just tell me what the temperature is going to be at my home at 3:45? And I'm thinking maybe a kid was getting off the bus. I think that was the deal, but I'm not sure. Anyway.
I loved doing that show. I did that show at a small station.
The Swap Shop?
No, we called it Tradio.
Oh, Tradio. That's another good name.
Oh,
yeah.
Man, it was so fun. It was so fun. Man, you get some characters, too.
Oh, man. People wanting to buy, just the weirdest crap. And selling the weirdest stuff, too. It was...
I had a lady who would call, and the first time she had a condition, but I didn't know the first time she called. I said, Tradio, you're on the air, and all you hear is, "Argh!"
Oh, no.
Argh!
Oh, no.
I was, all right, you have a great day. Anyway, like a couple of calls later, a lady's, told me that, Ken, that's, I can't remember what her name, Miss something. But after that, every time she would call, I would say, well, good morning to you. And I'd say, I hope you're having a great day. And she'd call every day. And it just wasn't a big thing.
So you get you don't get those types of characters anymore. We had a guy, Ken, that did a radio show on Saturday mornings. It was Greg Harden. And he did Greg Harden's old time radio hour.
Yeah, you told me about this guy.
Oh, my God.
Hour.
Old Time Radio Hour, and he would get on the air and he would play like old timey, old school Hank Williams bluegrass music.
Oh man!
And he would, I remember the intro that he would do. He would, it was Little Roy Lewis was the artist that did the intro, and he would always start his show the same way. Thank you, Little Roy, and welcome to Greg Harden's Old Time Radio Hour. We got a big old show for y'all today.
Big old show.
We're gonna introduce you to Ms. Martha Johnson, who served her country as a nurse during World War II. We'll do that in the second hour. We'll talk to Wormy Newton of Wormy's Feeding Seed, the only man I know that'll cut his toenails with a chainsaw. He said that because Wormy Newton only had 3 toes on 1 foot. But anyway. And he would say, and Ken, you'll get this. He would have he's slip cued a record, right?
Oh, yes.
Like a country music record. And he's got his, and so what that means is the turntable is turning.
Yeah.
But he's got his thumb on the record, so it's not playing.
Right.
And he's holding that record. And he would say, and he would just own that. He would chew the room. And he would say, but before we get into any of these things, ladies and gentlemen, would you do old Greg one little favor? Would you walk over and pick up that old telephone, call one friend or neighbor, and tell them that Greg Harden is on the air? And he would, as he said air, he would take that thumb off that slip cue and bow, 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 bow. Oh, my God, so good.
This business is so fun.
Well, it is. It is. It's still fun. I mean, I almost said it used to be, but it's still fun.
Well, I'll put it to you this way. It was this radio station, we are allowed to be ourselves.
That is correct.
And that's how we do radio on WTN is a lot like how it was back in the 80s.
I agree.
Where, man, we're just connecting with the audience. Yeah, I mean, I've never been allowed to do news and be a personality while I do news.
Right.
Wherever I've been, they didn't really want you to do that.
No, you just did the news.
You just did the news. And you better sound a certain way while you do the news. You can't you can't go up and you can't go down.
Right.
You just got to do it straight on. But I think that's why it's so fun working here is, I mean, we're able to just make such a connection with the people.
Well, we try to. I mean, and it's just life, right? I mean,
It's just life.
We talk a lot about politics. We talk a lot about things going on in the world. But, I mean, we talk about life more than anything. And Ken, I don't want to, while we're taking these trips down memory lane, talk about Tradio and old-time radio, we're talking about our radio past. We should allow Jackson in on this conversation. Jackson, tell us how radio was 6 months ago.
I was here.
Ah, see what I did, though? See, that's it.
It's a young joke because you're ancient.
30 years from now, when Ken Weaver and Matt Murphy are long in the ground, Jackson, you'll be telling these stories. I knew a guy,
Brother Jackson.
big old loud mouth, used to yell on the radio all the time. And you know what, people, there'll be some young buck sitting over there where you are while you're saying that, and you know what they're thinking? Well, this old fart.
I don't know. Another 6 months, I might be in the asylum.
Well, if we go another second, we're all going to be unemployed. It's 26 after the hour at Super Talk. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. If WKRP in Cincinnati were a news station, LOL. That's from 3043. And I saw this from 3043, but 3043 wrote earlier in the week, y'all are running out of stories or not looking hard enough for nincompoops in the news. This segment's losing steam, sort of like that movie challenge, Bad Santa.
I'm ready to bring the movie challenge back.
I'm watching Bad Santa this weekend. We're bringing it back.
You and Jay snuggled up on the couch
together. No, Jay's coming over on Sunday. I'm watching Bad Santa tonight or tomorrow. But one of those 2 days, I'm watching Bad Santa.
That's going to be a long slog.
I know. That's the problem, Ken.
It's a great movie.
Ken keeps bad-mouthing it, and it keeps me away from it, Jackson. And then I get into the hard stuff, and, I'm not interested anymore.
You know what I'm interested in?
What's that?
The news.
It's time for the news on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Yeah, we're winding down the week. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I got a couple of rants to get into before we'll say goodnight and call it a weekend. Yes, one of them has to do with NES, Nashville Electric Service. Yes, we know that the head of Nashville Electric Service makes $654,000 in total compensation. That's what we were told. WSMV Channel 4 did a report on that. Mayor Freddie O'Connell, we reported for you exclusively on the Matt Murphy Show that agents from, well, I won't say from, agents working in conjunction with Finn Partners. Finn Partners has a multi-million-dollar contract with Nashville Electric Service, okay? This is a contract to protect Nashville Electric Service from the General Assembly. It's a contract to work with the General Assembly to make sure that they have a good working relationship, and I'm sure they do other things. It's a multi-year, multi-million-dollar contract. Finn Partners, apparently, they weren't enough, and so NES subcontracted or contracted out other public relations partnerships with other organizations in an effort to squash criticism and complaint about their woefully inadequate preparation and response to the ice storms of about a month ago, or less than a month ago. We were first and exclusive to report to you that Freddie O'Connell met with agents from these organizations, associates with Finn Partners, the weekend before the Monday that he announced that there would be this big blue ribbon commission, right? Remember, the mayor of Nashville said, my response is we'll have this 2026 Winter Storm Response Commission. Oh, boy, a commission. And we all know what commissions get done. Nothing. And the mayor was very proud of the fact that he had his Blue Ribbon Winter Storm Response Commission named, which will deliver its final report sometime in 2026, one expects. And now that they've gone on to name some of the names on this commission, there are more questions as to what this commission is all about. Now, I believe that the commission itself is a red herring. I don't believe that it is designed to get anything done. I believe that it is designed to deflect responsibility. I don't think that Freddie O'Connell has any interest in doing anything about leadership at NES. Sadly, feckless Freddie is so worried about upsetting people that he doesn't seem to understand how many people were impacted or affected by these storms and how awfully Nashville Electric Service did and how ultimately that's his responsibility. And I hope that people remember this when it's time to go vote. I don't care what your politics are. I don't care if you're liberal, conservative. I don't care. Freddie can't keep the electric. He can't keep the lights on. Can't keep the electricity flowing. Can't manage storms. Has taxed Nashville into oblivion to the point that he has or is in the process of killing the goose that lays the golden eggs. When asked about these businesses that are closing down, like possibly Arnold's or Peg Leg Porker or Acme Feed, and say, oh, well, not my job to keep those open. Need to pay your damn taxes, peons. Take a knee, pay the bill, morons. That's the attitude he has. But we told you at the time that this commission was a bunch of nothing. A bunch of nothing. Designed in a room where people were trying to cover their own asses, and that's what the commission came out of. A spirit of covering their own butts. Well, now Mayor Freddie O'Connell is admitting it to the Tennessee Star. And kudos to Michael Patrick Leahy and his organization. They do great work over there. Leahy reports. Now, they wanted to know because when the list came out of the people on this commission, on the list was former Governor Phil Bredesen. And Phil Bredesen was tapped to chair the 2026 Winter Storm Response Commission. Bredesen is a co-founder of an organization called Silicon Ranch, a green energy company that does business with, wait for it now, Nashville Electric Service. Interesting, huh? So Bredesen co-founded an organization, a company that does business, a green energy company, by the way, that does business with the Nashville Electric Service. The Tennessee Star reached out to Mayor Freddie O'Connell's office and asked, was that not a conflict of interest when Bredesen is charged with the task of coming up with a nonpartisan report, a fair and balanced report on the efficacy of the actions before, during, and after the storm by NES? How can you be non-biased when you're doing business with the company? O'Connell's response will not surprise you. Quote, this commission was created to review the entire winter response. The mayor told the Star, while NES matters may be reviewed by the commission has no formal authority over NES, so there cannot be any material conflict, just as having the vice mayor or a council member does not present a conflict to Metro. He went on to add the commission has a well-rounded set of experiences among its membership. Bredesen obviously served as governor of Tennessee until 2011, left office, became one of the founders of Silicon Ranch, a green energy company that runs solar panel plants generating renewable energy. The energy is sold to the TVA, which enables Vanderbilt to reach its climate goals by offsetting emissions through renewable energy credits obtained through agreements with Nashville Electric Service and TVA. The project went online April of 2023 when NES CEO Teresa Broyles Applin stated, NES is proud to collaborate with Vanderbilt, TVA, and Nashville's own Silicon Ranch to reduce carbon emissions in our region. In other words, and I won't get too far in the weeds in it, this commission is nothing. It is a slap in your face. It is designed to avoid responsibility to the point that people forget that this happened. It's designed to get us to the summer months where a commission report will come out and it will find that they should have done this or they should have done that. And the after-action report indicates that they need to do this better and need to do that better, and no one will be held responsible. Not the board members, not the CEO, no, and not Freddie O'Connell, nobody. The only people that have the ability to hold anyone accountable in any of this would be the voters of Davidson County, sadly, and the General Assembly. And the General Assembly's ready to act because Freddie won't. He's feckless. He's afraid of his own shadow. Otherwise, why in the world would you not act like a leader and demand better accountability from a municipality-owned monopoly like Nashville Electric Service? Instead, we're going to empower and impanel a blue ribbon task force commission. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. This commission is going to meet. They're going to have lunches. They're going to charge those lunches on the taxpayers and the ratepayers. They're going to meet in the evening times, maybe have a few drinks. Oh, they're going to get together. It's going to be a bully time. And they'll come out with a report eventually, and that report will wag its finger and talk about some of the things that should have been seen that weren't seen, and unforeseen circumstances, and the unprecedented nature of this ice storm indicated to me that maybe they should have. And, you know, hindsight's 20/20, guys, and we can't be casting aspersions or blaming people for things that they couldn't have foreseen. And nothing will be done. And that's the way bureaucracy works. That's the way that liberal Democrats protect each other. That's the way that all of this works. And in the meantime, people are dead. People are dead. I believe that at least 2 of the people that died as a result of the incompetency of Teresa Broyles-Applin. Because of her insistence that she worry about renewable energy and green energy and the canopy, for God's sakes, instead of worrying about keeping the lights on for the people that absolutely had to have electricity, had to have heat. And they didn't. When they needed it most, they didn't have it. Oh, but y'all have your commission meetings. Y'all enjoy yourselves. We'll just eat cake. 51 after the hour on Super Talk. Super Talk 99.7 WTN winding up a good week. I think so. How would you grade the week, Jackson? A, B, C, D, or F?
I give me and Ken Weaver A's. I give you a D-.
A D-?
Passing.
It begs the question, why am I getting such a negative report?
Because you have the trophy now.
And
I'm bitter.
It's in my room. I went ahead and put it in the studio to make sure that you didn't attempt to abscond with it over the weekend. I think it was very important that it got as far away from you as possible. 0249, day number 7. Good for you, my friend. So I've got a listener. I'm not going to name him, but I've got a listener that has taken me up on my Murphy challenge for you smokers. I smoked from the age of 15 to the age of 32. I'm now 52, so I have been quit smoking longer than I actually smoked. I smoked for 17 years, obviously. That's, doing the math. When I initially tried to stop smoking, I used the patch, the nicotine patch. And it drove me insane and gave me horrible dreams and didn't work because I didn't want to quit smoking. My granddad told me years and years ago that the only thing you need to quit smoking is to want to. Everything else is inside of you. And I did not understand that until I started really wanting to quit smoking, and then I fully understood it. However, it was very valuable to me, 2 things. Number one, it was important to me that I reminded myself that I did not smoke. You're not trying to quit smoking. You're not attempting to quit smoking. You're not yearning to quit. You don't smoke. And count. Every day that you don't smoke, you wake up in the morning and you say, it's day 1 that I don't smoke. It's day 2 that I don't smoke. It's day 3 that I don't smoke. Sorry, I had to sneeze. It's day 4 that I don't sneeze. And eventually those numbers start mattering to you. And you recognize that if you take one little puffy, you're all the way back to 0. And so my good friend is on day 7. Congratulations. You got this in you. All you need to do is to want to, and you've got this. Hey, have a great weekend, friends. Enjoy your loved ones. Hug your loved ones. We'll be back on Monday. Until then, so long, everybody.